All right, I think we'll get started. We've got just about everybody logged in. Again, my name's Arnie Ken. I'm the president of Vertical Measures, and I want to thank everybody for joining us for our video marketing webinar this morning. I'm going to turn the presentation over to Ralph Miller, who's one of our internet marketing specialists here at Vertical Measures. He's going to take you through most of these slides, and then I'm going to join in periodically as a color commentator. And we'll go from there. And Ralph, take it away.
Great. Hi, everyone. This is Ralph. I want to thank you for attending today. And if you have some questions along the way, feel free to put them in the message box there, and we'll get to those towards the end of the presentation. The title of this webinar today is, Does Video Marketing Work? And it's kind of a trick question because, of course, the reason why you're here is because you know that it works. We've all seen it work across the web. And I think really the real question is how to get it to work for you and specifically in your own business. And so I hope to cover some of those things today. Let's see if we can get the next slide to go there. Okay. So the first question I'd have you ask yourself, and I really feel this is the most important thing to consider when you're looking at whether or not you're going to use video for a specific promotion, is what the purpose is behind the video. What is it that you want to achieve with the video? Because oftentimes, depending on the answer to that question, video may or may not be the right way to go. There's a lot of different ways that you can promote various aspects of your business. And so by deciding on what the true purpose and the intent of it is, what your end goal is, then you can really look at whether or not video is an appropriate method for that. So there's lots of different purposes for video, and what you'll see is a lot. If you surf the web as much as I do, you see that most of it is entertainment. All of your videos that you see out there that typically get a lot of views are entertaining in some way, and there's a certain value to that. You'll see a lot of large brands using this method to kind of gain brand awareness. But in terms of like direct value, it's very hard to measure because it's there's no kind of sales pitch, if you will. There's no kind of direct measurement of, oh, we put this video out and it increased sales. But it does reach a broad audience. It has a potential entertainment value that allows it to kind of go viral, if you will. People pass it around, people spread it around. Many times those entertainment type videos have very little branding in them at all. Most of the time you'll see maybe an email address at the end or a company logo at the end at the most. Sometimes not even that, because anything like that typically will stop the viral effect. If people think that it's connected to a company, it'll inhibit them from kind of passing it on to somebody else. Another type is instructional, and these have a very targeted audience, and it really helps to support your expert status. And so, we've done some of these types of videos. We have SEO videos available for people to view on our website that are being hosted through YouTube. And these types of videos, you can really start to explore in-depth concepts with a person, help to provide a service to them, while at the same time gaining trust with them. So as they begin to watch your instructional videos, they begin to implement what you're offering them, they begin to look at you as an expert, and then when they really do have something that they can't do for themselves or they need help with, they're going to possibly turn to you to provide that for them. And then the last type would be promotional, and this is kind of like a commercial, but basically for the web. And so you've probably seen a lot of those types of commercials, and typically blends a little bit of entertainment, perhaps some instructional, and also brands the company on the actual video itself. There's three types of qualities that I would say any good video needs to have, and one of the most important aspects is the audio and the video quality. And it depends and it varies, depending on the equipment that you're using. You don't have to spend a lot of money on it, but it does need to look somewhat professional. And It's kind of like a joke that we have here when we talk about this, is because you don't want it to look so professional that it looks like it was, you know, that you spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on it, like a commercial for TV, because people, that kind of puts up their defenses when they see that type of production. You also don't want it to be so poor quality, especially for the audio, and when they listen to it, it's difficult or painful to listen to, that they just close it down and shut it off. So it needs to be almost this, for the web, it needs to be this middle ground where it looks professional, but it still almost looks like it could be home done, or that it was made, you know, on the fly. And that's a really hard quality to get, but it's something you're going to want to consider for your video if you're wanting to appeal to a mass audience on the web. The other thing it needs to have, obviously, is great content. And all of the videos that you see, like on YouTube, that have a lot of views, generally have either really good instructional content, really goes through in detail how to do something, or you know, in terms of entertainment, is very entertaining. And for the presentation of the content, typically you'd use something that's, you know, if it's educational, and then it needs to be useful. If you're looking at something else that you're presenting, then it needs to have something like surprise or eye candy or genuine emotion, all of those different types of things that you see in videos that really make them stand out. And so it could be visual graphics, it could be you know, any type of very genuine conversation when you're talking to somebody. Like when you've seen those videos, I'm sure, on YouTube, where people just, you know, it's just a picture of their head, and they're just talking to you as if you were right there. And you get that feeling as if you were talking to them one-on-one, and that can be very compelling for people, and it doesn't take a lot of money to make those kinds of videos. But it needs to be present, because if it's not, people disconnect, and you're not there to be able to reconnect them to your service or to your brand or to whatever it is that you're offering to them at that moment. And so you need to really think and plan out, how am I going to capture them? How am I going to get them excited about the content? And what am I going to use in order to keep them engaged? The qualities that your video really must not have is over-branding. And I see this, you know, this is a struggle a lot that we have in conversations with clients, is that, you know, everyone wants to put their name to a specific product, you know, if a specific video that's been created. And sometimes you'll see that that actually has a negative effect, because, again, people have these like internal mechanisms of defense that come up. So as they're watching a video, if they feel like they're getting pitched, if they feel like they're being sold something, they're going to instantly kind of shut down in a lot of cases, unless, you know, they're really engaged and they really are interested in what you have to offer. But I would say that that's probably the smaller percentage. And so you want to make sure that you're not over-branding, that you're not starting your videos with a 2-minute introduction that's a flash presentation that shows your logo flying in from the side and music and those types of things. It just, you lose people with that very quickly. Disconnect between the story and the brand can be very difficult as well. Again, because people watch it, and then if you say at the end flash your logo, if what you're offering in terms of your services has nothing to do with what the video is about or what the story was about, you know, the initial impression, for me at least, is kind of like, well, so what? Like, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna go get your service just because you had this entertaining video. And so that's a very difficult line to walk, because, again, you want to have some sort of positive benefit in terms of, you know, more leads or more business or whatever it is that you're going after with your video. So you need to brand it, but at the same time, like, over-branding or having a disconnect from the story can really, really hurt your chances of gaining the benefits from the video that you're trying to obtain in the first part. And then length of time, it varies depending on what you're trying to do, but really I would say no more than 5 minutes unless it's extremely entertaining, because people just don't have time for it these days. Most of the time I would say, a minute to a minute and 30 seconds at the most, which really in a lot of ways is a good strategy or a good practice for your business, because it forces you to be succinct. It forces you to hone in on what is really, really important and what it is you really want to share with somebody. For business-to-business video, it's pretty much the same, except for what I would say is you can really be informative without having to be apologetic. So, in some cases with other types of videos, we might not include as much in-depth information, but with business-to-business video, those people are seeking specific solutions to specific problems. And so you can really line it up in terms of what you're offering and as a solution to their problems. And I don't feel there's anything really wrong with that. I think that a lot of people actually appreciate that in the marketplace because, again, they are looking for solutions. So along those lines, you'd want to ask yourself, like, what are businesses looking for in my marketplace? And the concept is, if you're selling drills, you don't want to necessarily talk about your drill. You want to talk about drilling holes, because the person that's looking for a drill is wanting to drill a hole. And that's the concept. You want to look at what it is that they're looking for in terms of a solution, in terms of like a solution to their problem, and then position yourself to understand that problem and talk about it and position your business as a solution to those problems. You can really focus on information and then also the commercial aspect of what you're offering. And since you're speaking to people that you have a certain level of understanding and knowledge about your industry, you can really go in depth and, again, talk about things that you might not talk about if it was a broader audience.
And I believe this is my slide.
Yeah, Arnie will talk a little bit about video creation.
All right. Hey, Ralph, and I'm going to let you keep control of the keyboard and mouse, and I'll have you click on the contest video in just a second.
Okay.
All righty. So video creation, this is Arnie again, and I wanted to kind of cover this piece of it. Even though Ralph actually creates some of the videos for us here, we have a team that all gets involved, and I just thought I'd give you a quick overview of our experiences. One is it's almost always assumed that video is tough to do, and I think for a year or two I was pretty hesitant in putting together videos, and we've done quite a few lately because we just decided to dive in and do it. And doing it yourself, of course, is, as it says here, least expensive, but it can be time consuming. I'm going to show you one video here as a sample, and we probably have maybe 10 man-hours into creating it. But we've also done some that are as simple as PowerPoint slideshows, just like what you're seeing here. And by the way, this webinar, we are actually recording it. And when we're finished, we're going to save it, and it's going to be saved in a video format. Now, it's long. It's going to wind up being 30 or 40 minutes long, but yet it's another piece of content that was generated, and it's another video for us to use, and we do end up posting them on our website. But we have also done a series of just simple 2 to 3 minute PowerPoint presentations. And in this case, really, as you all know us, we're a search engine marketing company. We were going after trying to get our videos placed to rank highly for certain keyword phrases. And we managed to do that. We probably cut 7 or 8 of these little videos. And one of them that I know for a long time that we managed to get ranked on page 1 was literally for video marketing service. And we did a little 2-minute video on it. Based on a PowerPoint slide. So you create your PowerPoint slide, you do a voiceover. I think we added some background music, all total maybe 3, 4, 5 man-hours involved, and we had a video to post on YouTube and got first page listings. Now another thing you can do, we're doing much more of this, is to shoot a video with something as simple as an HD flip video camera. If you've ever, I forget who else brands them, but we happen to use the flip video. And Ralph is launching this now, and if you'll scroll down just a little bit, Ralph, And I'm not sure how we're going to get the sound on this. I might have to actually hold my phone to the speakers here. But we just launched about 6 weeks ago a contest for the health and wellness marketplace where people could submit entries to us. And if they won our contest, we would give them $5,000 in free internet marketing services. Now, we did this for a couple of reasons, but one is to drive traffic to our website and links, because many health and wellness sites over the last 6 weeks have talked about us and linked to us. We got lots of submissions, and in fact, today is the last day. We have narrowed it down to 5 finalists, and people have been on our website voting for the 5 finalists. And the voting alone has drawn almost 2,000 visitors to our website, so it's been a big success. But we kicked it off by shooting this video, and go ahead, Ralph, if you want to launch it. But this is actually Ralph speaking, and he's doing a bit of an Obama parody here.
I believe true reform is possible. Today we're launching a contest to support that effort. We're getting submissions from people around the world who have never done internet marketing before. So it's a little hard to hear, but if you,
Okay.
if you're interested in it, you can go to our website and check it out. But again, that's that video clip probably took us, script. You've got to look at in terms of production, scripting, and then of course videoing the actual content, and then of course editing. And we overlaid a little music in the background, some presidential music in the background. So of course it doesn't have to be that complicated, but it does take time, and especially if you haven't edited it before. Depending on the software you're using, there's a little bit of a learning curve. So that's why we were saying, like with the, with the other aspects of doing it yourself, it can become time-consuming. As you do it more and more, you become to be a little bit of an expert in whatever specific software you're using, and it takes you a lot less time to be able to do.
Yeah, and I would say, a piece of the time there was just literally developing the script. I don't know, Ralph, you'd know better, but I would think it was a couple of man-hours probably in just putting together and running it by people here and coming up with the script. But that literally was shot in our conference room with a little $100 HD video camera. They did a few takes, but shot it in there, no special lighting, no whatever. And if you go back to our website and look for that blog post, it's actually a pretty good video. And the contest has proven to be quite successful. We've had quite a few people view that page and that video, and it all came together. Now,
it's a good tie-in because like you see the way we're using the videos, we posted it on YouTube and then we embed it into our blog, and so you have it on multiple platforms, so people can find it at YouTube. They can find it on our blog. It's like you get the synergy between the social media sites. And then, of course, your particular website.
Yeah, and now if you wanted to take it to the next level, you can go out and purchase a little bit higher quality HD camera. You can actually buy some lighting and video editing software, and maybe for $1,000, maybe $1,500, you could actually now take it up to a much more professional level if you started, if you thought you were going to do a series of videos. And by the way, just my own real-life experience is I have a DLP television at home, and I've had it for about 3 or 4 years. And if anybody has DLP, you know that one of the issues with them is the light bulb goes out periodically, and it's not a cheap bulb. I think they run about $150. So, of course, you can imagine I went to Google and I searched for a replacement light bulb when ours went out here a few weeks ago. And on the first page of Google was somebody who had done a video, and they had optimized it for the particular bulb model that I was searching for. And the video was how to replace your, whatever it was, Samsung 8 DLP blah, blah, blah bulb. So I clicked on the video, and sure enough, in about 2 or 3 minutes, you could tell it was shot by themselves, but they showed somebody, taking the cover off the back of the television, where to reach in, where to, how to get the bulb, how to pull it out of the socket, so on and so forth, and at the end, a link to their website. So guess where I bought the light bulb? They got a $150 sale, and who knows how many they got because their video ranked very high for that search phrase. And by the way, because I was curious, I then went and found they had a whole series of these videos for all sorts of different model numbers, and them showing how to quickly change the light bulbs and to do other things. So if anybody's in a similar business where you might be able to apply something like that, there's an idea there. And then, of course, if you don't want to do these videos yourself, you can outsource it. This is something we do for our clients, but there's all sorts of video production companies, in your locale, most likely, nationally or whatever. And then probably a more expensive route, outsourcing. Of course, you can run it. You can get television quality video and on down. But there's also we don't went through these here, but you have the links in this presentation. And by the way, all of you on the call will get this presentation. But there are 3 sites that we know of that run contests. They're not cheap. They will run, I forget, Ralph, exactly, but I think they're $15,000, $20,000, maybe even $25,000 to have basically your concept presented to their database of video people. And people compete and will produce 2, 3, 4, 5-minute videos for you, or 1-minute, videos for you. And then there's a bit of a contest, and then someone is selected. Somebody's video is selected, and we've seen some of these. And actual, real national brand names have used these services to get some really cool content done, and even attempts at getting some nice viral videos created.
Yeah. Those, when I had looked at them, it was $9,000 if you were going to self-manage the contest, and then $25,000 if it was going to be, managed for you by somebody else.
Gotcha.
So, and I think one of the people that was using it was Old Spice. They were actually pretty entertaining videos, so you can get really good results with that. After you have your video published created, you'll want to look at publishing it. And these are just a few of the sites that you can look at. And again, you'll get these slides, so you don't have to worry about taking notes or anything. But of course, YouTube is a big one. There's Yahoo Video. AOL used to have a video site. It's now MotionBox. Metacafe, Vidler, Rever. Vimeo and Blip TV are really non-commercial. They're for more along the lines of kind of sitcom-ish type, director type videos, and so those are more entertainment aspects. If you try to post commercial information up there, usually it'll get removed, so just keep that in mind. There are various niches. You can look at like eHow videos. They have a great site that's just how to whatever, and so it's a great way you can kind of get some exposure. You don't necessarily have to choose just one of these. In fact, I wouldn't choose just one. I would post them on multiple platforms, because the idea is not to try and limit yourself to one particular area, but really to get your video out there on as many platforms as possible so that you get the widest exposure. Along those lines, you can do TubeMogul or HeySpread. Both of those are multiple platform publishing solutions. So basically, you upload it to TubeMogul, and then from there they distribute it to all the other websites. In order to use that service, you still have to have an account at Vidler and YouTube and those types of things. You provide the login information, and then it's basically just a back end. You select the sites that you want it to publish to, and it will do it for you. So it's a time saver. Those services are paid, so you will have to pay a fee for those. And then you can post and embed videos in all sorts of social media like Facebook and MySpace, and of course on your own website. I wanted to include this because it's really, really popular, and if you're looking at trying to do something like an entertainment video, I think it's a great way to kind of test out your ideas, because it's called Channel 101, and anyone can submit a pilot, and that's the cool thing, is that you do a 5-minute video that's entertaining, and submit it to them, and then they will basically go through a process of evaluating it with their viewership. And they'll either give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and if it's a thumbs down, then you basically get kicked out of the system. If it's a thumbs up, then it continues on down the line, and you can actually get it basically as a ongoing video on, you get your own channel basically on their website, and it just again gives you lots of views. They have a very large viewership, so it can be really a great idea. One of the examples is IKEA Heights, and I found it extremely clever. And whether or not IKEA was actually involved is really a mystery to me, because they claim, these people that produce the video claim that they shot the video in IKEA without anybody knowing. But basically, the video starts off with these two people talking, and then after they're talking for a few minutes, they say, "Well, we do live in IKEA Heights," and they pan back, and you see they're in the IKEA store, and they're actually living there. It's like a melodrama. They shows their lives throughout the day in IKEA Heights, and it's gained a lot of popularity. And like I said, they claim that IKEA didn't know anything about it. Whether IKEA slipped them some money to to do it or not, I don't know. But it's very successful, and you can check it out. It's a fun little concept. When you go to publish on these platforms, you're going to want to look at optimizing your video. And so, again, upload to multiple video sharing sites. And then you'll want to try and include a live URL to your website whenever possible. So a lot of these sites allow you in the description to include a live link. Oftentimes it's no follow, but it doesn't matter. And oftentimes you can't use keywords. It's just a plain URL, and that's fine. You want to be able to have something that people can click on, and then you can use your keywords in the title, the description, all around the URL, so that people kind of understand what it is that you're doing.
If I could just jump in, can I just jump in for a second?
Yeah,
and also,
absolutely.
in your description, especially on YouTube, you want the live URL, including the HTTP, to be the very first thing in your description, because that's what would actually appear to the people viewing the video, and that's where you'll click through. And the example I gave you earlier about me clicking through to buy the light bulb, that's where their link was, and so I was one click away from getting to their website.
Right. That's a really good point, because it's you don't want to have people searching for it. You want it to be right there so that they can see it. That's a great point. You can get links to your video from other sites using relevant keywords. So you can go, and as part of one of the services that we do for clients is go out and find places where you can link to either your website or to a video, things like that. Video views do matter. Ratings, you'll see like a 1-star, 2-star, up to 5-star ratings on a lot of these. Those things matter, and embeds matter. And what I mean by that is that all of those metrics are being used by the search engines to determine how valuable your video really is. So if you took two videos, they're both on the same concept, and they're both fairly good videos, and then you have one that has 5,000 ratings and one that has only 100, the one with 5,000 is going to outperform the other one. How many times people embed your video is another indicator. So all of those things are things you'll want to consider when you're trying to optimize your video, like who could I ask to embed it, or how can I influence people that are already in contact with me to embed this into their blog or to rate it. Oftentimes you'll see in YouTube videos nowadays people are just flat out saying, if you like this, give it a rating. Or I've seen too during the course of a video something random, I'm showing somebody how to build a link, and I'll say, hey, if you like link buildings, give it 5 stars, things like that. So it doesn't have to necessarily be relevant. It's just whatever you can do to get people rating it. One thing I didn't include on there too, comments. Like comments on a video too are indication of how popular the video is, how much people are interacting with it. So again, you can ask people, leave a comment below, or just flat out ask them a question. You know, what's your favorite form of link building? And leave it in a comment below. If you're self-hosting your video, you want to make sure that you include the metadata in your file. You can do that by right-clicking on it, click on Properties, and then Summary. And that has a little information space where you can write in, you know, all the metadata, description, the title, all that stuff. And then think of video sites as just simply social sites. They're not independent of social sites. Each one of them is a social network. YouTube is one of the biggest social networks there is because you can make friends, you can participate, you can get subscribers, you can create video responses to other people's videos. So don't be afraid to participate on those in order to help improve your, you know, all of those things, the ratings, the embeds, the aspects that are going to help you to create your video and make it successful. Once it's been up for a while, you'll look at the performance, and there's lots of, you know, various analytics. There's lots of companies that offer analytics, and so it just depends on how in-depth you want to get. Both TubeMogul and HeySpread, you know, those paid services that I talked about earlier that do the basically cross-platform publishing, they also offer cross-platform analytics. That's one of the beauties of it. Instead of having to log into each one of your sites, you just log into TubeMogul, and it shows you all of your statistics on one page. It's very convenient, and that's what you're paying for, is convenience. So you don't have to go to all the sites to look at the your performance. Most sites will have analytics built in. So like YouTube, you'll be able to look at the insights, they call them, on your video, and you'll be able to see how many page views it has, where it's coming from, the demographics, the region, all of those things. And so you can start to get an idea of like who's watching your video and match it up with what you know about your target audience. And if it's not, you know, if it's not meeting the criteria for who you think is buying your products, then it would kind of in two ways force you to either look at, well, maybe the demographic we thought we had isn't true, or maybe the videos and the way we're doing them isn't matching up with who we need to match them up with. And so you can make adjustments based on those. The other great thing is the insights are available to anyone. So you can go to a competitor's video that's out there and look at the insights. And it's just right there on YouTube. Underneath the video, you'll see insights. Click on it. It'll show you all that information, and you can get an idea of who your you know, competitors are targeting. And of course, you could do video analytics or Google Analytics on your website. And so if you embed it into your blog, you can check and see how many people have hit that blog page, and gives you an indication of how popular the video is, at least on your website. So that really concludes the presentation. The only other thing that I really wanted to emphasize is, and Arnie kind of touched on this earlier, is video can be a great way to get into, it's like a backdoor into the Google Top 10 rankings. And so you can really, if you strategize it right, and that example that Arnie gave was just really brilliant, of how you can use video to get into the search engine rankings for something that's incredibly relevant and valuable to people, and it can absolutely turn into conversions if you do it right.
All right, thanks, Ralph. I appreciate all that great information. We do have time for questions, and hopefully everybody who's logged in can see a little form. I'm not sure where it is on your screen. It's to the right of my screen, where you can post questions. If you have any, go ahead and post them, and I'll read them off to Ralph, and we'll get you some answers. All right, looks like we have one question here. Let me see if I can read it. This is a specific question asking us about our video optimization services. A lot of it was covered in those slides. We'll send them out. We do optimize the site, the video. I'm sorry. We'll send them out to you know, however many sites that is a part of our engagement. Of course, almost always YouTube. You know, one of the questions embedded, this is a long question, but generally we try to focus a video on 1 or 2 keywords at max. It's very hard to optimize a video for more than 2 keyword phrases, and they generally need to be related. So like when we did what was the example I gave, video marketing services, we may have tried to stretch it and also optimize it for a video marketing company. But they have to be extremely similar. And it's kind of I'll have to get back to this person on a lot of their other questions. So I see who you are, and we'll get back to you.
And it's
Any
true,
other questions
you really
out there?
you do really want to try and optimize it for just one keyword, because otherwise what you're doing is you're kind of diluting your energies. And so if you focus just on one keyword, the chances of you ranking for that keyword on the search engines particularly goes way up if it's very targeted and very focused. Otherwise, I think like what you end up with is, again, you might get mediocre results all across the board, which doesn't really help you. So.
Yep. All right, we have a few more questions. Somebody's asked, are there any legal restrictions to doing a contest? Like the idea, but concerned basically about legal restrictions. You know, we're not lawyers, so we need to say that right off the bat. But we have run several contests for ourselves and for our clients. And we generally, we have created a terms and conditions page. You know, I don't know state by state by state, but generally with a contest, as long as it's available to the public and there are no restrictions, then they're pretty much legal to run it. But you can name your own terms and conditions for your contest, and we've had, of course, we haven't had any issues yet whatsoever. And generally, they're fun and they're giveaways, and contests are being run. I mean, if you search for contests on the web, it's amazing how many of them are being run.
Right.
So I don't know if
The
that
big
answers
thing
that.
is not to charge in any way. So you want to make sure that you're not trying to position it where they have to purchase something or purchase a a product or a service in order to participate.
Exactly.
That's the big one. Yeah.
Right. And then here's another question as far as regarding SEO impact of a page using embedded video versus streaming from your own server. I don't know, Ralph, if you want to tackle that, or I have
what
a quick answer.
What was the exact question?
Well, I
Which is
think the
better,
question
or?
is, which is better, embedding a video or streaming from your own server, from an
Okay.
SEO point of view?
From an SEO. I really like embedding, just because if you're trying to build up a YouTube channel, for instance, okay, if you're trying to create a channel on any of the other sites that I mentioned there, like Rever or Vimeo, or you want those views. You don't want to lose those, because if you host the video yourself on your blog, then anyone that views it on the blog, it's like it just doesn't register, it doesn't count. And so if you have 1,000 people look at it on your blog, your YouTube video still only shows 100 views, and that just kind of depletes the whole expert status. Same is true with like ratings. So if you have it hosted on your own website, again, they can't rate it. So now you've lost out on opportunities to, again, kind of improve your social status, if you will. If you're trying to build a YouTube account and a YouTube channel, I would think you would want to embed your YouTube video on your page. Now, the converse to that is if you're looking for a really high quality video, then I would look at hosting it on your own website, because all of those other hosting options for your video, like degrade the quality of the video. So if you really want it to be a nice presentation, you want like a fuller screen, or you did it in high def and you want to have it in the high def, then I would run it on your own website. I hope if that answers your question. If it doesn't, ask again so we can clarify.
Yeah, and we've got a few more questions to get through here too. So, do you have a theory as to why videos with high production values tend to get ignored on YouTube?
Probably because of overbranding. That'd be my general thought. It's really weird. People have this mechanism, and it's people are getting more and more cynical about stuff, and it's getting harder and harder because you've had so many kind of undercover videos that they weren't branded, but then it comes out that they actually were done by a commercial project. So people just get really, really, really skeptical about stuff, and so they're watching things with a real critical eye. And anything that they think is even remotely a scam, or some company trying to like create a viral video that everyone spreads around and stuff, it's like they just shut down. It's like, oh, this is fake, and they go away, or they don't pass it on, those types of things. So you see, like on YouTube, a lot of the viral videos are just like people videotaping their kids, and there's one of the kid after going to the dentist. I don't know if you guys have seen that one, but it's just, it's like Timmy after the dentist, and it's got 3 million views, and so like that realism is something that people are really connecting with, and there's a lot of talk in terms of the sociology of that. People are lacking connection in their life, and so they're trying to connect through this virtual medium, and they look at anything that's overly branded as being an intrusion on their personal life. And so what you want to try and do is be as authentic as you possibly can when you're trying to connect with your audience.
I lost your audio there for a minute.
I'm still here.
Okay, sorry about that. All right, next question. How long does it take to take a good video to propagate the web for both Google and Bing ranking? We've seen them pop in a couple of days. I mean, it really kind of depends on your approach, but once you get it, let's say, onto YouTube, if you can build some links to it, the actual video page on YouTube, that helps tremendously. And then, as Ralph had mentioned earlier, if you can get some comments and ratings and people to just get the ball rolling from a viewing perspective, you can see it hit literally within 48 hours. But I would say the best thing you can possibly do is if you can drop a couple of high-quality links to it. That's the fastest route to getting it ranked on Google.
Yeah, and I'd say that's really important to do early on in a video's life. So when it's when it first launches, within like a week or two, to be able to have it get some comments, some ratings, and some views, because what ends up happening is then everyone that hits that video thereafter already has kind of a the established criteria. So for instance, like if you hit a video that only has 1 star, the tendency is for people then to like look at it as being like subpar, whether it is or not. And so what you want is like some sort of relationship with a network of friends or whatever that you get to rank it 5 stars or 4 stars or whatever they're going to kind of set that up as the predisposition for people that see it later on.
All right, another question is, do you recommend Traffic Geyser? And I have never used Traffic Geyser, so I don't know if you have any experience, Ralph.
I don't. Sorry.
All right. Sorry about that. And do we put contact information in the videos? Yeah, we almost always do. Generally, it depends on the topic and all that, but, with a closing, last few seconds, we add, a slide or, whatever, but to make sure they know how to reach us. If it's for pure marketing purposes, and I would assume everybody on the call here is trying to do a video for marketing reasons, so we do. And I think we've got about 2 or 3 more. Well, I think we just covered here. Somebody asking us about what are the factors that affect the video rankings, and so you just talked about that. So,
right.
And what is the lifespan of a video? Even if your content is going to be similar, should it be refreshed? That's a good question. And that's our last.
I would.
Question, by the way.
I definitely would, just because it gives you more content. And that goes to one of the things that we've talked about, like repurposing content. So I mean, you could certainly use similar aspects of the video, so you wouldn't have to do it all over again. But you could create a new video that reflects the new contest. And we're certainly doing it with the webinars. So we've got the webinar that people can attend, and then we we'll be publishing it afterwards so that it's an added value to all of you, because if there's things that you want to go back and listen to again or look up, like all the sites, you've got access to that information. And then for everyone down for years to come that want to be able to access this information, we'll have it for them. One of the great things we just saw the other day, somebody was talking about this, this idea of like repurposing videos and being able to even say take out the audio. So if you do a video, you can also take out the audio, and now you've got an audio file that you can share with your potential clients or customers or whatever you want to do. You can transcribe the audio or even the video and make it into a post now on your website. So there's lots of ways to reuse and retool all of these things.
And then we have one more question. How many views does a good quality link typically generate? That's impossible to answer, really. I mean, there's just so many variables there on what's the definition of a good quality link, and sometimes good quality links generate very little traffic through that link. So it's impossible to predict how many views you might get. But go ahead.
I think for that one video that we use as a kind of a case study on one of Arnie's blogs that he does, This Is Just Cool and This Is Just Stupid. I think you had gotten Stumbled, and that got around 2,000.
Actually, I think it was,
right?
I think it was actually much more than that. I think it was over 10,000.
Okay.
I think of the same one, but yeah,
10,000
because it got found. It was
right.
It's a single link, but it got found many months after the video was posted to the blog.
Right.
Somebody literally stumbled across it, hit it up on Stumbled Upon, and it took off. And right within a few days, that page got, I forget how many now, but it was thousands and thousands of hits.
Right. Right. So it depends, like if it hits somebody that's into Reddit or really big in StumbleUpon, like it can generate a massive amount of traffic in a very short amount of time. But like Arnie said, like it's hard to predict when that's going to happen. Like you said, that one happened like 3 months after it had been published, and so those types of links are the best in terms of traffic. But then there's other types of links that I would consider authority links. And they might not drive a lot of traffic, but they're going to help boost your rankings more than other types of links that you can get.
All right, and our very last question is: somebody happened to notice the Viagra spam email that came through while we were talking? And no, we can't get back to that email, Craig. All righty, that's all the questions we have in the queue. And I think with that, we will wrap up this webinar, and we want to thank everybody for participating and hanging in there with all those good questions to the end. And as we've mentioned, we'll package this up and get it out to everybody who attended here in the next few days. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thanks.